On a couple of different videos now, I have talked about a group in the Civil War called Andrews Raiders. And you can kind of think of these guys like a Civil War special ops group. In short, what they were trying to do is a group that was organized by James Andrews, and they were going deep into Confederate territory with the intent of hijacking a train called the General, bringing it back up towards Chattanooga and destroying bridges, tearing up rail lines, disrupting, telegraph lines and communications, all to try and isolate Chattanooga for the Union and disrupt the flow of supplies between Atlanta and Chattanooga. Now, for several different reasons, the raid ended up not being as successful as the raiders had hoped. And a train called the Texas, Confederate train, ended up catching the raiders at a place called Ringgold, Georgia. And one of the last places that the trains passed through was this place right here called Tunnel Hill. Well, today we're at Tunnel Hill. We're going to go and take a look inside and explore kind of the end of the Great Locomotive Chase. So we just came into the museum here on the premises, and of course the big thing here really, there's the Battle of Ringgold Gap, and also to me the bigger story is the Great Locomotive Chase that came up through here, and they have a display, and take a look at what they have got. So there was a movie that was made about this incident called the Great Locomotive Chase, and they have pictures of all of Andrews' raiders here. And in addition, they have a Medal of Honor. Pretty cool. Also on display, several different items of weaponry from the Civil War. They have several different interesting things that I've never seen here in this museum, including this spike puller. So I would assume that the raiders would have had tools similar to this whenever they were making their raid up through northern Georgia. Here's something else that's kind of interesting that if you weren't really paying attention, you'd pass right by. This is a piece of timber that was recovered from the water of South Chickamauga Creek, which is south of Ringgold here. And this was part of the bridge trestle on the Western and Atlantic Railroad. So you can see some hand-hewn marks and different holes that were drilled in. Yeah, pretty cool that they recovered that. Okay, so we just entered into the south end of the tunnel, and man, this thing really is impressive. So this was built by Irish immigrants in the late 1840s. It's 1,477 feet long. So there was a crew that was working, from the north end, a crew that was working from the south end, and they met each other in the middle. And I think they were only like a ½ inch off. So here, this end was primarily dirt that they were digging through. So the stonework that you see is 4 feet thick, and then there's bricks up top, and those are about 2 feet thick. And here's something I found interesting. This little piece here is called a safety pocket. So if you were working on the railroad in this tunnel and a train starts coming, well, you can duck in here and stay safe until it passes through. Now we're looking more at the north end of the tunnel. Now this crew had a little bit more of a job on their hands because they had to go through bedrock. So there was a lot of drilling involved and a lot of blasting. And as a matter of fact, if you look right here, you can see some of the old drill marks. So this is before dynamite, so they would pack it with black powder and then blast it to open up these passageways. Pretty impressive. Okay, so of course the general passed through this tunnel on this Great Locomotive Chase, being pursued by the Confederates in the Texas. Now Fuller, who was the conductor for the Texas, whenever they came through here, he noticed that there wasn't very much black smoke, which, as an experienced railroad man, indicated to him that the general must be running out of fuel. So as they were coming through this tunnel, they knew that they were probably closing in on him. Now, after passing through Tunnel Hill, the general started to run out of wood, started to run out of water, which quite literally meant that they were running out of steam. And they were passing right through here on the Western Atlantic Railroad, had gone through Ringgold, and their train finally gave out right here in this very spot. And they have a monument to the general right here where it gave out. So Andrews and his raiders ended up jumping off the train and scattering, and over the course of the next few days were captured. Some of them were sentenced to hanging, some of them escaped, some of them were traded for other Confederate prisoners. But right here is where it ended. Now, a lot of those men were awarded the Medal of Honor, and it was the first Medal of Honor that had ever been awarded to anybody in the United States. So for several videos now, we've been to the Raiders' grave, we've seen their Medal of Honor, we've seen the general, so it only seems appropriate that we're right here where it all ended. Very cool. So glad that we came here today.